Well, my friends say, girl, you better take care.
Self community, how we doing? Hey, I'm gonna try and bring a little joy to this. We know about Zohran Mamdani. You know that he talked to Donald Trump. I'm gonna play a little bit of his clip. How he felt about things and how he still didn't do it to his face, but he doubled down on still talking against Trump and calling him a fascist. Donald Trump just looked at him because he still holds the cards and told him that he's been called worse than that. So that's sad in ways, but it's good to be able to let things roll off your shoulders that don't mean nothing to you. And you can look in this guy's eyes. He's just like a Democrat. He's always running his mouth and moving his hands like Nelson does and Pelosi. They're always giving you the hand language with the word salads. And every word out of his mouth, is a lie. Let's check this out, y'all. All right, bear with me while I try and get this lined up for you. Here we go, people.
And joining me now is the mayor-elect of New York City, Zohran Mamdani. Mr. Mayor-elect, welcome back to Meet the Press, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be back.
Well, it is wonderful to have you here in person, fresh off of your first meeting with President Donald Trump. He praised you. He even said you could do a great job as mayor despite months of a bitter back and forth. Were you surprised by the warm welcome that you got?
I was looking forward to having a meeting with the president to speak about the needs of the 8.5 million people who call the same city we love home, and to speak, frankly, about the affordability crisis that is pushing so many of them out of those 5 boroughs. And I found in the meeting that I had with the president a productive one, and a meeting that came back again and again to the central themes of the campaign that we ran: the cost of housing, the cost of childcare, the cost of groceries, the cost of utilities. And it showed that this is an opportunity to now start to deliver so that people can do more than just aspire to struggle in New York City, but actually to be able to live there.
But did you expect it to be so chummy? What was going through your head when you were standing there?
I thought again and again about what it would mean for New Yorkers if we could establish a productive relationship that would focus on the issues that those New Yorkers stay up late at night thinking about. Because so often in our politics, we try and tell people what they should be worried about, what they should be concerned about. When you actually ask New Yorkers, you listen to them, you hear it come back to the issues that animated not just the conversation the president and I had with the press after our meeting, but frankly in the meeting itself. It was a conversation where we spoke about the need to deliver on this agenda, and I appreciated that when the president, when we had that meeting, it wasn't just in the Oval Office. He also took me into the cabinet room, and there we were looking at portraits of presidents of years gone by, and we admired a portrait of FDR. And in many ways, when I think about the candidacy that we've put forward, it looks to Fiorello LaGuardia as the greatest mayor in New York City history. You can't tell the story of LaGuardia without telling the story of FDR and the story of a relationship with the federal government that finally delivered at the scale of the crisis in this region.
Well, prior to your meeting, I don't have to tell you this, President Trump repeatedly threatened to cut off federal funding to New York if you won. The president seemed to back away from that yesterday, though, in his public comments in that joint news conference that you all did. He said, I don't think that's going to happen. I expect to be helping him, not hurting him. Do you believe him when he says that?
No, I believe the president in the conversation that we had, and I will continue to make the case, both to the president and to the country at large, about the needs of New Yorkers. Because what I found, frankly, is that New Yorkers have grown tired of being asked to believe in a system that has delivered very little for them. They're tired of a politics that expects everything from them while delivering little. And what they want now is a politics that can see the scale of the crisis in front of it and actually start to work together to deliver on it.
You ran a campaign, though, saying that President Trump had not delivered on his promise of affordability. Did anything that happened in that meeting make you think, yes, he can deliver on that promise for Americans, for New Yorkers?
Well, I spoke to the president about the fact that while our campaign technically began on October 23rd last year, for many people, they became aware of it after the president won his election. And when I went out and spoke to New Yorkers, asking them who did they vote for and why, the two neighborhoods that swung most significantly towards the president was Fordham Road in the Bronx, Hillside Avenue in Queens. And I shared with the president that when I asked those New Yorkers why did they vote for the president, they told me again and again it was cost of living, cost of living, cost of living. And when the president and I were speaking, we were speaking about what is preventing from delivering on that affordability agenda. Sometimes it's a lack of taking on the broken system that we have, and I spoke about in New York City, for example, zoning regulations. We spoke about ULURP. This is a process by which you either approve or deny zoning changes that are made in New York City. We spoke about the need to change so many of those situations such that a developer doesn't tell you the thing more expensive than labor or materials is waiting. And we also spoke about the importance of understanding what it is that hurts New Yorkers in their pockets. It's their rent, it's their childcare, it's their utilities, and it's their childcare. Because the childcare, I say twice, because it is the second highest cost after housing, $22,500 a year for a single child.
Well, let me ask you about the other threat that we heard from President Trump to send troops to New York City to address issues of crime and immigration. We've seen him do this in other major cities. Did you get any assurances in your meeting, Mayor-elect Mamdani, that President Trump will not send troops into New York?
I told the president that the cornerstone of an affordability agenda is public safety, and that it is critically important. And for all that has been said and all that has been spoken about, the tens of millions of dollars looking to make New Yorkers fearful of that question, the truth of it is, in fact, that I'm looking forward to working with the NYPD to deliver on that. And I shared with the president that my decision to retain Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch is in large part a recognition of the fact that in her time leading the NYPD, she has driven down crime across the 5 boroughs while starting to uproot corruption that was endemic in the top echelons of that department that they're at.
And I'm going to follow up with you on your decision to keep Commissioner Tisch, but to this core question that I think so many New Yorkers are curious to know the answer to. What did President Trump say to you? Did he assure you he will not send troops into New York?
He told me that he cared deeply about public safety. I said I cared
But did
deeply
he
about
say he
the same.
wouldn't send troops?
What I told him is that what separates New York City from anywhere else in the country is we have the NYPD. And I trust the NYPD to deliver public safety. And to me, that is something that I know that they can do, that they have done, and they will continue to do under my leadership.
So he didn't rule it out in your meeting?
I made it very clear what we wanted to do is to deliver public safety and affordability. The NYPD would be the ones to do so.
In that press conference with President Trump, a reporter asked you whether you believe that President Trump is in fact a fascist, a word that you've used in the past. You were about to answer, then President Trump sort of jumped in and he said, quote, "That's okay, you can just say yes. It's easier than explaining it." So, Mr. Mayor-elect, just to be very clear, do you think that President Trump is a fascist?
And after President Trump said that, I said yes. And
So you do?
And that's something that I've said in the past, I say it today, and I think what I appreciated about the conversation that I had with the president was that we were not shy about the places of disagreement about the politics that has brought us to this moment, and we also wanted to focus on what it could look like to deliver on a shared analysis of an affordability crisis for New Yorkers.
You've also said in the past that President Trump has engaged in a, quote, attack on our democracy. You've called him a despot. Do you still believe President Trump is a threat to the democracy?
Everything that I've said in the past, I continue to believe, and that's the thing that I think is important in our politics, is that we don't shy away from where we have disagreements, but we understand what it is that brings us to that table. Because I'm not coming into the Oval Office to make a point or make a stand. I'm coming in there to deliver for New Yorkers. And a few weeks ago, I was asked by a reporter 3 words to describe myself. I said, New York City. And that's what animated that conversation.
I leave the comments up to you to answer. There's no need for me to go all the way through his information because here on Steel Community, I told you, once a person is something and they've been taught something for years, like the old guys always taught me, it's very hard to change that. And people are creatures of habit. If you believe a certain way, he's going to bring all his unorthodox ideas to New York. And mark my word, there will be a clash between President Trump and Mamdani. It's going to be a big one. And he's strong-held, President Trump's strong-held. And I believe in the next couple months of him taking over New York, it will gradually start building itself up like an old 97 locomotive, steam locomotive. Chugga, 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 and it's going to get full impalement before long. You can leave your comments. Do you think Mamdani is going to work with the president and hold his words true? Let's look at this tape, y'all.
Wave was sweeping across the country. Good evening. Hope you're having a great Saturday night. Welcome back to My View. If you tuned into the mainstream media after election night, you'd think a socialist wave was sweeping across the country. One headline gushed that Zohran Mamdani's victory in New York meant it was morning in America for Democratic socialists. And then Seattle elected Katie Wilson, a Mamdani copycat, and the press declared socialism was here to stay. Heck, the Democrats could barely stomach condemning socialism on the House floor yesterday. But let's zoom out. Because while liberal city progressives pop champagne, voters in some of the bluest states are quietly revolting against the very agenda the left is trying to sell. In New York, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik is gaining on Kathy Hochul, striking a double-digit lead and turning that into a real governor's race. And in California, the latest statewide polls show Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, a pro-Trump, tough-on-crime Republican, leading a crowded governor's race and outperforming several big-name Democrats. Of course, Congressman Eric Swalwell is in need of attention again, so he just joined the race with help from none other than who else? Jimmy Kimmel. But in the so-called Golden State, there's widespread voter anger about affordability, housing, and homelessness. Same crises Democrats created, thanks Eric Swalwell and Gavin Newsom, are now driving voters straight into the arms of a conservative sheriff. So yes, the far left can elect socialists in the Big Apple and Seattle, but across the country, the pendulum is swinging back. Because when families can't afford groceries, can't find a home, and don't feel safe walking down their own street, they're not looking for lectures on equity or social justice. They're looking for real results. In California, of all places, Chad Bianco may be the one to deliver. So I sat down with the sheriff this week to understand his rise in the polls and what California voters really have to say.
Even though that the Democrats are getting ways to get their socialist commanders in position, a lot of people, again with common sense, are not agreeing to the socialism. It shows Republicans in blue states have been blue for years, are looking real close to going red. And rightfully so. Who wants to live, as she said, in a communist state where it's hard to get food, hard to get a home, hard to survive? It's not working for them. And this is why I gave the community a little pep talk. Don't wait for things to be handed to you, but take the initiative and get them before it's too late. Because when this all falls, I got you. You know, you got what you need in a form of state. Wake up. Don't be dumb to things around you. Don't accept things with a blind mind and as walking around, if you're incoherent or you walking on a zip line, just picking up all the trash and listening to people and to things that don't matter. Let's look at this tape, and at the end, like I said, I'm going to try and end some of these things on a more happier note. We're going to start bringing you a little bit of more scary, funnier things. Hey, we got to laugh sometime. We got to enjoy life, because it can be very depressing every day, the same thing hammering you every day, you know. So let's take a look at this, y'all.
Country right now, nothing like it. And he just
America won. Larry Kudlow, host of Kudlow. All right, Larry, so we have the president doing a lot of deals overseas. Is it working?
there is so much money coming into this country right now. It is, you've never seen anything like it. And he just got another $1 trillion from the Saudis from MBS. I don't know what the exact number is. He'll say 20 trillion. I'll say, fine, you want 20 trillion. His website says 9.5 trillion. It doesn't matter. The Biden years had virtually nothing. I think it was $1 trillion or less. Trump is saying, we're open for business. Invest here, produce here. You can make money here. This is the greatest country in the world once again. This is the hottest country in the world. There's a reason that an MBS comes here and is throwing money out. He doesn't have to do that. And he has a checkered past with American presidents down through the years. All these, look, they're making deals, this trade, reciprocal trade. They're making deals in South Korea. They're making deals in Japan. They're making deals in Vietnam. They're making deals in the European Union. These are places we could never make deals with before. Why are they doing that? Because of Trump. That's why they're doing it.
No one else has done it like this. Now, not to get political, Larry, but are these deals going to hit and boost wages and jobs soon enough before the midterms?
You know, the answer to that is yes, because remember, one big beautiful bill created a lot of incentives. All right, you build a new factory. Trump loves factories. You want to understand his trade policy? All about factories. He loves to build factories. Machinery, equipment, small businesses. Beginning of the year, about $200 billion is going to go to consumers, overtime pay, tax-free tips, seniors, car loans, probably $3,000 a family. Maybe there'll be a tariff dividend to go along with that. We'll have to wait and see. It's all going to hit. But here's the thing. Today, the Atlanta Federal Reserve re-upped its third quarter GDP estimate. Hang on, 4.2%.
Gangbusters.
The second quarter was 3.8. When you look at these goofball Federal Reserve and the Congressional Budget Office, they're like 1.5, 1.7. He's scoring 4%. I mean, the Democrats are trying to stop him with shutdowns and whatnot. They can't even do that. They're so inept. But he's reinventing capitalism. He's reinventing business. He's saying, come on here. I want you to success. Obama and Biden was saying, no. I don't want you to. I want you to be penalized. Trump says, no. I want you to succeed. And they love this all around the world. They'll pay down tariffs, okay? That's what the reciprocal tariff thing is. We'll give you $350 billion over a period of time, says South Korea, a very difficult country to deal with, and we'll get Trump give them a 15% tariff. That's just fine. Japan's the same way. In fact, you got a woman prime minister who's kind of the female version of Trump. They're going to put in whatever, $500-600 billion. Tariffs will come down to 15%. We didn't have, look what we didn't have. We didn't have worldwide global trade war. Instead of retaliation, people came here to do deals, transactions, okay? And the inflation rate, I mean, Groceries under Trump have been 1.5% so far. Groceries under Biden were 23%. This whole affordability stuff is an absolute scam. It's a lefty media scam. It's Biden who created the affordability problem, not Mr. Trump. So to answer your question, wages will go up. They're already going up.
Will my wages go up, Larry, or I'm probably under contract?
Yeah, we have a different situation. I'm sure you're doing very well.
I'm sure I am.
But the point is, wages are rising faster than prices. They're just beginning now. By the time you get into the middle of next year and the fall of next year, they're going to be very substantial. Remember, in Trump's first term, after the tax cuts, okay, let's look at this. Supply-side tax cuts, deregulation, drill, baby drill, was it 28 to 30 states under $3 a gallon already, and reciprocal trade. That was what we did in the first term. It succeeded beyond anybody's expectation. $6,000 in take-home pay.
That's
okay,
big.
That was in the first term.
That's big.
You're going to do at least that well. He is redoing
Larry's
America.
made the prediction.
It is the hottest.
Everyone's going to get rich. You heard it from Larry, and Larry knows money.
Free market capitalism is the best path to prosperity, and Jesse, it's worth defending. It
Sure is.
Worth defending.
Thank you so much, Mr.
My
Kudlow.
pleasure. Thanks for having
See you on FBN.
Awesome. People, let's get a recap of this. Like I said before, leave the man alone. Stop it with the judges. You Democrats, go take a seat somewhere. Though Pocahontas fell over trying to find a seat, but sit on the floor, take lessons. Stop trying to penalize Donald Trump because you can't stand his aggressive way of doing things. This man's making trades with countries that didn't even talk to us. He's got reciprocal tariffs, money coming in. He's going to pay the deficit off. We're already $18 trillion starting next year in the hole. 18 trillion. They're looking at him to make over $25 trillion. Reciprocal tariffs have always coming in. If you let him go and let him do what he has to do for America. He's an awesome businessman. He's working for us, people. I don't have the Trump syndrome. I got the pocket syndrome. And when a man's putting money, like I said, HIP, Hip National, that's the biggest bank in the world to me. And he's doing it. Groceries are 1.5% down. Biden, we was gallivanting up into this twilight zone. Wages are already rising. And when all these companies, 200, 300 companies, they're going to start next year. When all these companies come into full effect and full force, a monkey will be able to make money. Take it how you like it there, Daddy. Y'all can say it's prejudice or whatever. I said monkey. And if you got any type of investment, like I said, I'm not your financial advisor. Get off your butt. Walk the line. And everything is going to be fine for a while. But you got to get in it to win it. You don't make no money gambling if you don't put nothing in the stakes. Sometimes you eat steak and sometimes you're going to go home with pork and beans. Biden, Clinton, Obama, Bush, pork and beans. Trump, steak, filet mignon, New York strip, porterhouse. I'm eating. And I know a thing or two about that. I know a thing or two about butchering. This man's making money. Something we all need. He's cutting away all the riffraff. In America alone, he's going to make us about $5 trillion. No more on TV with the SNAP program dancing up to $64,000 in SNAP goods. What the heck's going on? Ain't nobody in America right now need no $64,000, $34,000, $24,000 worth of food in 1 month. I'm sick of looking at this stuff. And y'all have persecuted this man. Letitia James ain't no way gonna get us this kind of money. Kamala ain't got the sense to do it. Biden ain't got a brain no way. Mr. Mush is walking around like a fool, steady getting us in debt. All they're doing is lining what? Their pockets. And they mad at Trump because he has annihilated their little deals, their little, as they call it, backroom conversations. Don't let the public know. Let's go have a backroom talk. And then we come out and present it to the public. Elon said, let's bring it front and forward. Trump has got his own channel. Let's bring it front and far forward. Same thing he told Nancy Pelosi when they were talking. She wanted a backroom door deal. He said, no, let's call being transparent. You're spending the people's money. Let's tell them where it's going. Let's show them where it's going. I'm going to bring, it's going to be joy towards the end of this podcast, but we also, it's going to make sense how the narrative and how Trump talks. And I love it because he tells it like it, with a capital I and a capital S, is. I say it is. Love him or hate him, he got it going on. And he's the best president we had. They shot Ross Perot down. I thought he might do good because Ross Perot told him when he comes in there, all these floor shine and Tom McAllen shoes and stuff, Congress going to be wearing Converse tennises because he going to run them that hard. And it's for the American public. So we as people that have common sense, if it's a big wave of red, we've bled long enough. So let it happen. Let's go ahead and admonish the right thing so that our kids can have something. Like I said, do your due diligence. If you need a financial advisor, do that. Your money sitting in these stupid banks ain't making you nothing. You're losing. Look at the good banks. Some of them are giving up to 5%. Please, look it up. It's right at the tip of my tongue. I want to tell you, there's 3 of them out there that are gangbusters. And they got good financial planning behind them. and your money is making money. I'm into everything. I dabble in everything. I don't put all my eggs in one basket. My bucket list is large. And the older I get, is the larger it gets. Because I believe that there's a financial way and a financial planning. If I adhere to myself, understand myself, work with myself, believe in myself, and trust in God, I'll get there. So I'm telling y'all, when I talk about being alone, Jesus was in this world, but he wasn't a part of it. Think. We have the largest brain out of any mammal. God gave that to us. Use it. And all this comical bull crap that Dems are laying on us, even some Republicans, let's see through that and safeguard ourselves. Let's look at this, y'all. Let's get a laugh out of it. And you might find a few choice words in here. I'm sorry for that. But it's common sense, people. And it's getting to the point where we can either joke about it and know that we're on the right track, or we don't find it a comical bone in it, we're on the wrong track. And don't forget that list I told you about. Write down the bad stuff, and that will alleviate the junk. You will prosper. A lot of people say, oh, make the good side. No, how you going to make something good and you haven't turned around and went behind you to find out what's wrong? When you find out what's wrong, the rest falls in line. But you got to be strong enough to make it happen, Captain. All right, y'all, let's go with this.
Low unemployment rate in the US and we have a very high unemployment rate in France. How come? What's the recipe for?
Well, maybe we have a better president than you do. Oh, Don, you're a little controversial. You're talking about illegal immigration. I said it's illegal.
So, if you become president, will a woman make the same as a man? And do I get to choose what I do with my body?
You're going to make the same if you do as good a job.
Why do you keep calling this the Chinese virus thing? This a lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all, no, not at all. It comes from China. First of all, Rand Paul shouldn't even be on the stage. He's number 11. He's got 1% in the polls, and how he got up here, there's far too many people. Anyway, would we not all be worried to have someone like that in charge of the nuclear arsenal? Mr. Trump, I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there. Well, how tough is it to take times property from an elderly woman? Let me talk. Quiet.
Is there anybody you'd like to apologize to right now yourself?
No.
You told the leader of the Taliban, if I know exactly where you are and give him the exact coordinates where he was?
No, I sent him a picture of his house. But why do you send me a picture of my house? I said, you'll have to figure that one out.
You have very low unemployment rate in the US and we have a very high unemployment rate in France. How come? What's the recipe for?
Well, maybe we have a better president than you do.
People, that's what you call getting to the point. And Kennedy from New Orleans, I love this guy too. To the point, no apologetic moves for it, and he speaks the truth. And I love truth. Let's check him out. Y'all enjoy these clips because I just want to bring a little bit of entertainment to us.
Couldn't finish a sentence without taking a nap. You're stupid and you made a bad decision. He has surprised all of us and done something intelligent. You could bake a Thanksgiving turkey in the time it takes him to walk across the stage. Said, Scooter, there are only two things I have to do in this world. Be cool and die. My advice to you is to shut up. You should hide your head in a bag. I think she's the reason there are directions on a shampoo bottle. Even a blind chicken finds a mealworm now and then. They carry around Ziploc bags of kale to give themselves energy. Kale tastes like I'd rather be fat. By 10 o'clock, I won't follow Jesus, but I want to slap somebody. God created the world, and everything else is made in China. If you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead. He couldn't finish a sentence without taking a nap. You're stupid.
Again, this is another gentleman that's to the point. And I love it. I think things like this need to be said. And this gentleman right here, like I said, he says a few choice words in there. He might put the earphones on the kids, but what he's saying makes so much sense. It's an old country boy. I think he's out of Tennessee, and he's talking freely. And I found him very interesting. Let's check it out.
Shit. On today's episode of Why the Liberals Are Bitching Today, there seems to be this holiday coming up in November called Thanksgiving. And apparently, because of the government shutdown, there ain't going to be no food stamps in the damn month of November. Now, with that being said, everybody needs to realize that the Democrats have 100% power to end this government shutdown right now. Old DT been asking them to end this government shutdown now for a couple weeks. They won't do that. Why? Because he refuses to give them their way. That simple as that. But I'm going to break it down for y'all. I'm going to lay it out for all y'all that don't know what's going on. I'm going to put it out there country style. Let everybody know what's happening. So here it is. There is a bill currently trying to be passed through the damn government right now, and the Democrats want to add something to the bill. They want to add the fact that they want more of our taxpayer dollars to be reallocated out to like healthcare and different portions of this, that, and the other. And the damn Republicans said, hey, we ain't saying no to that. We saying that we're staying focused on this bill right here. We're going to get this passed. So if y'all want that bill that y'all want passed, y'all need to take y'all's time, go meet amongst yourselves, go back to your clubhouse, and go put y'all a bill together, bring it to Congress at a later date, and we'll address that one. But for right now, we're doing this new thing that the whole nation is really behind, and we're trying to stay focused on the task at hand instead of just running on feelings. Well, the liberals don't like that shit. Democrats, we want it done right now, and old Daddy DT said, I wish I... Alright, so let me break it down for y'all and put it in a situation that we've probably all gone through in our lives. Remember back in the day, you sat down for dinner with your family, right? You were a youngin', you were a kid, you were an adolescent, alright? You sit down for dinner with your family, and you want a piece of cake. You see the cake get sitting right there in the center of the table. You want a piece of that cake. But your mama and daddy said, hey, you want a piece of that cake right there? You need to eat your damn Salisbury steak and green beans. You didn't want damn Salisbury steak and green beans, you wanted cake. So that's basically what the hell is happening right now in the government. Because when you was a youngin', if you wanted that damn cake, you had to eat that Salisbury steak and green beans. Right there. But the damn Democrats, they don't want that. They want their shit right now. No. Daddy DT said no. No, no, no. You can't have no damn cake right now. You better eat your damn Salisbury steak and green beans, and then maybe at a later date, you might get some cake. So in a nutshell, it's almost like the Democrats are acting like a bunch of toddlers because they didn't get their way. So right now they are on the floor kicking, screaming, and hollering, throwing a damn hissy fit because they didn't get their way. But if you remember back to when you was that young and sitting at that damn table, I bet your ass didn't get no cake if you didn't eat them damn Salisbury steak and green beans. But that's all right. That's okay. I'm behind it. I am. I don't believe in giving everything to everybody that wants it. Sometimes you gotta do a little something before. All you gotta do is eat damn Salisbury steak and green beans. But the whole government shutdown that is prohibiting the food stamps for the Thanksgiving holiday is in the hands of the same people that's bitching about it. And that's today's episode.
There you have it. And I think this gentleman here just laid it out old country style. I lay it out soulful style. Exactly what's happening. And even with that, Trump was talking about using some of the tariff money so you people could rob us on more food programs. Since I saw what I saw on TikTok, YouTube, how you people are unveiling and telling the truth about wasting money, buying beer, cigarettes, even going to movies and using down payment on cars with the SNAP card. You got $64,000. You can do something with it. $30,000, you can do something with it. I don't even care no more. That's how I feel. Those that need it, yes. I'm all for that. But for you son of a guns that's sitting here wasting taxpayers' money, so I never got a break on taxes. They gave me nothing back. I was single. I had businesses. I worked. I ended up paying over $60,000 in 1 year. $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. Come on, man. So I have no remorse for someone that's evading and doing that to the system. I don't care if you don't eat. I really don't. I got no feelings for you, brother. None. And if you had all those kids, that's on you. You should have realized, can I afford this? And let me tell y'all something. With the company being in the, with America being in a deficit, y'all fighting Trump, you ought to be glad he's there. Because he would have stayed under Kamala Harris and Biden, y'all would have woke up one morning and it really would have been cut off. Country broke as we are now. And y'all are fighting this man tooth and nail. Crazy. That's why other countries look at us like we fools. Hey, anyway, I like to end things quick when things irritate me a little bit. So drop the mic moment. Step community, we love you. Subscribe to the channel, please. Let it grow so we can help real people, not fake wannabes and takers. And on that note, y'all, let me know where you texting from, calling from, emailing from, and ask questions, because I like to interact with my people. Smash that like button, and we'll be back real soon.